So we can't look up prawns while you do the podcast? I don't get the point.
Don't worry, Joel. I'll make sure to keep sending you a steady supply of Ren hentai.
Cool.
You just see, like, Joel just... Yeah, indubitably.
I mean, I'm more of a Saber man myself, but Ren's always nice. I like me some Ren.
Yeah, well, Rin is best girl, so there's no argument to that because she just is.
Don't you wish that you were Jesse's girl?
Welcome back to another episode of the Handsome Jacks podcast. Joining me today, I have Jelly 10 Years Kelly, who's looking like Jesus.
What's up?
I have Dimit the Dick.
How fucking original. Oh my god.
The Dick Mitt.
And I have everybody's favorite Halo nerd, Jake.
Dun, 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 dun.
No,
Dun, dun, dun,
shut
dun.
up. You're not going to make your intro.
Shut
Dun, 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 dun. That should be this episode's intro.
Alright,
It
and
be copyrighted.
as always, I'm your angry Canadian host, Joel Diane. Today we're talking about Halo, because Jake's a little Halo bitch.
Woo! Finally got it, boys.
Hang on, I got you.
Oh, no. He's done it.
I've done it. Alright. Well, it is your topic. How are we going to start this?
Well, I figured we'd start out with how everyone got introduced to Halo, and then I know Dimit and Joel have a little bit of a small story about how we actually met Joel. So...
You're making me remember things now?
Yeah, I'm making you remember.
I
You just
never
told the
signed
story
up for
like
this.
an hour
why you're
ago.
here.
I
bud.
never signed. I wouldn't even hear an hour ago, Jake.
Alright, well, I played Halo 3 because I was told to buy Call of Duty 4 and Halo 3, and that's what my friends were playing.
That is how
Yeah.
you buy games.
That's it. That's the
as
whole
a
story,
youngster.
really.
That's the story.
Yeah, I literally knew nothing about Halo. My friends were like, buy Halo 3, and I'm like, okay.
Right, well, my story is I went over to my friend Chris Warwick's house. Well, this is back in the day, like 05. Halo PC came out. He's like, boys, check out this Halo shit. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So go over. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. Next
It's the
birthday,
greatest thing I've ever seen.
nothing's ever beat
Changed
it.
my life.
Boobs, tits, nope.
So,
Halo all the way.
so real
Mjolnir
quick,
6
yeah,
Mjolnir 5 armor.
on
That's
the
where it's at.
events that you would say charted your path as an individual, would you say that Halo is like the top or like just below the top?
It's top 3, if not number 1.
Top
What
three.
would be number one?
I honestly don't know at this point. Star Wars, maybe? Lord of the Rings?
How is Game
This
of Thrones
explains a
on
lot about you, honestly.
Yeah, it really does actually. Joel, where's your camera at? I thought you were gonna be.
I am. I told you the same as fucking last week that
I
my
wanna see your
webcam has to be
pretty face.
recorded by the fucking program.
So
you
now
can
it's just me and
blame-
Dimit staring
Yeah,
at
I
each
know.
other.
It's just us. It's like awkward. He's trying to indoctrinate me in his fucking cult. He's gonna take me off to some Texas city or Utah.
Do I have to fucking join Discord? No, do I have to make another?
Hold up, what the fuck
Discord
is that
account.
poster in the back?
Can we zoom and enhance?
And
It looks like it's is that an anime poster?
It's a lot of effort for me to do.
What is that, Jelly?
It's Sailor Moon. It's George's
Ah.
Sailor Moon poster.
Very
He's
cool.
living up to his
Always
name.
enjoy Sailor Moon.
Everyone
Living
place
up to
your
his
hand
name.
on the Bible.
No,
All right. I
I'll burn the
swear.
Bible.
Boy, you're gonna burn this.
I'll burn the Bible.
Holy scriptures, huh?
I swear
Yeah.
by the holiness of Master Chief.
This does apply to the story of my Halo experience, by the way.
Explain.
Well, growing up as a religious youngster, I was not allowed to play such violent video games.
Halo's for the devil.
Aliens, yeah. So my experience with Halo was from afar, watching like YouTubers play it and stuff like that originally, and then I'd get a fair a scrape of gameplay, little scrapings of the experience at people's houses. So That was my first taste of Halo. Was like Xbox, like Halo 2 on the Xbox, and that it was like unlike any other game I'd played at that point.
I
Just go
feel
to
like
people's
I'm the
house
only
like, please,
person-
ma'am, a crumb of Halo.
Yeah,
I feel like
like
I'm the
want
only person
Halo
here that started
poster,
with
Mom.
3. Wait, what games did you guys start with? Because I started with 3.
No,
We
I
already
started
have
with
people
3
on
as well.
2.
I didn't
Okay.
really play.
Played
Halo is
2
one of them
and then
games.
Halo 3.
Halo is one of them games for me. It's just like Fallout 3. Like my parents are like, you can't play those games, and I'm like, I know more about Fallout 3 than my buddies that own the game, and so like I always played it, or I would steal Jake's copy or anyone else's, and I would play it. But it's like I don't think I actually ever owned. No, I think I did. I don't even know.
I
It
think you
was
did.
late in the game that I actually got the game.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm pretty sure you did because I think I remember playing with you and Jake at the same
Yeah,
time.
I'm pretty sure I
Yeah.
convinced him after getting Army of Two as my first M-rated game.
Yeah, because I think
Oh,
you had
yeah.
3 and Reach.
I
All right,
forgot
what's
about
everyone?
Reach
What's
entirely.
everyone's favorite Halo? So we started.
Mm.
We
Mine's
started
gonna be
with
Halo
probably the
3.
best one. Reach.
Just the best overall package.
I want
Reach
to
for me.
because I spent the most time with Reach.
I'm gonna have to go 3 just for the nostalgic memories.
I spent the most time with 3. And I think 3 had some of the best custom games, but I enjoyed playing Reach because I enjoy Reach multiplayer the most.
I agree with that.
I could never get into the Reach multiplayer too much, as much as I did with 3. Just something felt off with it. I think the level design or something.
I mean,
Plus, I never
level
cared
design
for the
was different 'cause,
DMR.
well, sprinting was the biggest change, I think, to the formula. So at that point, the armor abilities really shifted up how Halo was perceived. And I mean, now it's like armor abilities and sprinting is a standard to the series, and they're trying to debate whether or not they should get rid of it or keep it. But it
Trust
definitely
me,
changes
Jake
how the
wants it
level
gone.
design's made. If you're having to focus with people running around the map, then you can't like design like tighter maps. I guess if that makes sense.
Yeah, because mobility affects and how people interact with the map. In terms of, like jetpacks
It
and
makes big
sprinting
team
and all the
battle
rest
more
of it.
fun because then you're not just like walking like slowly across the hill, just get pecked off by a sniper across the stage. You're like, well, that's great, cool, thank you.
See,
Having a
because
great time.
that's always my problem with the argument against sprinting games is like you just slow down the game so much, and there's still going to be instant kill weapons because there are instant kill weapons in almost every fucking video game.
That's
So it
why
makes
you
it
make
easier
the,
for them to hit it because it slows down movement. It makes the game longer to play for no reason. Like I dislike it entirely.
See, I feel the opposite, that the one without sprint, it plays faster. Because with sprint,
Well,
they have to make the
because-
maps bigger to facilitate, to have a reason to move quicker. So if you pick a loadout that doesn't have sprint, then you have instances of, oh, well, now I'm stuck walking across Blood Gulch because I picked Bubble Shield or Armor Lock or whatever.
the pace of the actual gunplay is different too when you have sprinting, because then there's the moment-to-moment gameplay where you stop sprinting and then you can't shoot while you're pulling up your gun. So that adds a little bit of like latency to your moves. You can't just be blasting your time. If there is no sprinting, then you don't. Then it's just straight up the gunplay. And if you do have the sprinting, then half the time you're not able to actually fire the gun.
Are you telling me that CS:GO had it right the whole time?
CS:GO did it right. What, 20 years ago?
CS:GO wasn't out 20 years ago, damn it.
We're talking about Source or whatever the original
CS,
CS was.
whatever.
Sorcerer 1.6.
Yeah, that one.
Goddamn elitist.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Whoa.
As much as I like something like jetpacks, I feel like some of the maps designed around it just Like, I don't like sword base because if you don't have a jetpack, you're fucked. You're stuck
That's
either
not true.
slowly meandering to the top or you go to the elevator of death.
It sounds like you really sucked at sword base because I never used jetpack and I liked sword base.
Yeah, sprinting around the map is fine.
See, I thought it was just too slow to get to the top.
Well,
So
then there's a grav lift too.
Which people camp on.
Well, yeah,
the
but
grav lift's in the
you have to
middle of
choose-
the open.
There's like two sets of
kinda hard to
stairs,
camp it.
Jake, and a grav lift. You choose your direction to get to the top, and if one of those directions to the top is a armor ability that you chose, then that's your fourth route. Can't complain about someone camping your ass.
I think Jake's just salty. He got fucked over by a bunch of armor lock users. Like, he's just
Excuse
salty
you,
about
I
it,
was the original armor lock user and laughed.
Excuse you,
at
I
people's
did it
tears.
first.
Well, that's why he's bitching about mobility, because he used armor lock. He just
Yeah.
waddled around everywhere. And then that
Dude,
one
people
time
bitching about
where
armor lock were the great. It's like, bruh, just stop shooting and back up.
people
I'm
bitch
gonna
about
whack
armor lock
it.
because they go for a splatter and then their vehicle explodes because they run into a motherfucker that
It's
uses
fucking
armor lock.
great. It's the greatest moment. You just get that kill, and you're like, eat that motherfucker, and you just keep on
Every
walking.
time I
Fucking
try to do
cancer.
that armor lock
You're
to blow up
fucking
a
cancer.
ghost, I can't get it. Am I the only one? I literally every time they even bounce into me, it doesn't work.
I could never. I hated armor lock and I didn't use it that much, so I always fucked up the timing.
I think I was effectively out of the Halo game up until 5. And then I just, dipped my toes in it again.
Which is a
Wasn't
curious
really
one to
full-
jump back into.
That
I
is
know,
weird.
very much so. As
Like,
someone that hadn't
what
played,
brought you into 5?
it was the newest one out.
Okay, fair enough.
And he,
He's
and
like,
he
I
bought
got
an
an
Xbox
Xbox
One, so he
One.
needed something to play on it.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's like, I want to play the new one. I have the. Why go play the games I've already played and play the new one?
There were dark times before the PC came along. I actually owned an Xbox One.
You
I
still
had the
own an
sunset.
Xbox One.
Yeah, I
And he owns-
do,
and he
actually.
owns a
It's just
PlayStation.
fired
Stare
up.
at his Xbox One.
I literally look at it like, yeah, I haven't turned that thing on. All right, it is not turned on with my actual intent in about 2 years.
Jesus.
It's turned on a couple times on its own,
I'm proud
but
of you.
no, I
like,
have not actually
Austin,
touched it and
remember
turned it
me?
on in 2
Embrace
years.
the PC Master Race, Austin. Just
I-
embrace it.
It's the same thing we just talked about earlier. I love the Xbox One, but at the end of the day, it does everything the PC does except worse. And I have a PS4, so I don't really need to get anything on it.
Yep, more or less.
I mean, Game Pass would have changed things in the past, but
I hate subscriptions. I would never.
If we had Game Pass back in the
Oh,
day,
okay,
we'd be
WoW
fucking
user.
rocking it.
Okay, WoW is an exception because WoW is the best fucking game ever made. But we're not here to talk about
Oh,
WoW. We're here to talk about
my
Halo.
God. I thought that was
Citation
Assassin's Creed
needed.
Valhalla.
No, it's a good game. It's not the best game. All right, what's next? What's on the docket, Jake?
All right,
Your
well, we got
episode,
everyone's favorite games. How about everyone's least
I
favorite
don't
Halo
even
game?
think I stated my favorite game, but that's
I've barely
fine.
talked.
Oh, you did it? No, you said, I thought you
said
said
three.
3.
You said 3 for nostalgia.
Oh yeah, I did. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing here. It's time to go to bed, dude. Just fucking end me.
We can do an ASMR Austin sleep chat.
No, we're not doing ASMR.
Never.
Why not?
I don't even need to hear what anyone
No.
else says. I'm making that call.
Yeah, we're not doing ASMR. Don't worry. All right, worst games.
People want to
Jake?
hear
Is that what
Dimmitch
you said?
ASMR. Leave a comment below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe.
In fact, leave a comment anyway. Really need some interaction.
Really do.
To keep this
Uh,
alive.
What do you
Because
want
I
me
don't know how
to
YouTube works
ASMR?
anymore.
Like,
Other of shameless shilling. What's everyone's worst game?
Halo 5 easily.
Hey,
First
Hated
off,
that
fuck
the
you.
story was Garbo. Well, I never played the multiplayer. I literally had to borrow an Xbox and run a copy of it just to play the single player.
I love how you had like all the keys for all the games, but you couldn't let 5 go. You just had to fucking get 5.
I mean, I'm a Halo fan. I need to at least play through it once. And boy, aside from the Arbiter levels, that game was Garbo.
The Arbiter levels were probably Garbo as well, Jake. You just
They were
like
at
the
least
Arbiter.
cool in terms of like level design and art direction. Everything else was bland and boring, and the story sucked ass.
Wow.
Sounds like about every Call of Duty. Almost.
Not to
ever
mention
made.
you have like the same boss fight 12 times in the entire game.
I want to take offense to the Call of Duty thing, but I can't say you're wrong.
Yeah.
When you're talking about Call of Duty
That's
campaign.
what I thought. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm
Hey,
not.
Black Ops had a very good
Shut
campaign.
Your mouth.
Black
gonna
Ops
call
1
it-
was great.
Your love. You are one of the only people I've ever known that will die after playing 4, 5, Modern Warfare 2, you will die on a hill for Black Ops.
Yes.
Black Ops 1 is easily the best story of them all.
Who gives a fuck
plays
about story on Call of
Who's buying
Duty?
Call of Duty to play the story.
I used to. They were
That's
great
like
action
That
blockbusters.
That explains so much of your mental trauma as a kid.
that's just like, oh guys, look at my fucking GTO Judge. I like it a lot, but I don't know, the seats are a little bit stiff. What the fuck?
I mean, if you're gonna get a fancy car, you need a good, comfy ride.
Ain't supposed to be fancy. It's supposed to be loud and obnoxious, brash.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say Halo ODST is the worst because it didn't have a true multiplayer. And I didn't enjoy the story that much. It had Firefight, which was the
Okay, so that was the only real thing it added, right?
Yeah. Well, Reach had Firefight, didn't it?
Well, ODST is the first one to have it.
Firefight.
Oh, is it?
Well,
Yeah, ODST introduced Firefight and then Reach upgraded it.
Oh, right, because Reach came out a year after, right?
Yeah, and then 343 was like, oh well, we're gonna do our own thing and not Firefight, and 4, and then they pussied out of putting it in 5 as well. So
Firefight's fun. But
it is. I like Firefight.
I don't enjoy the like running around the sandbox searching for clues, and I don't enjoy not being a badass Spartan compared to an ODST.
Didn't we start that campaign on ODST like a month ago? In the first level, we were all like, "Yeah, this is it."
I think the connection was garbage.
I just don't like ODST's campaign to begin with. Like, I kind of like dark and drabby games, but ODST did it in quite possibly the most boring way possible. It's just like,
I agree.
Want to be cyberpunk futuristic city. It was like the first one. It's like, this ain't doing it for me. It's not at all. But
I think the problem was like
it didn't commit to being a like it could have been like a city shooter, and you would have been like an open world, and you tackling different missions. You know, it could have been just different than what it was.
Yeah.
And the firefight was a great inclusion, but it's not going to carry the longevity of the game.
Yeah, like I don't mind them as a game developer stepping outside of their boundaries a little bit to understand like what they would like, but like coming off the hype that was Halo 3, and I wanted something that was Halo 3 but better because at that point it'd been out for a while.
Halo 3 but better.
And then ODST comes out. ODST is completely different from 3, so it's something that just threw me off entirely. Like looking back, I understand why they did it, but like in that moment, I disliked it entirely.
So, like, I kind of half agree with what you're saying, Joel, because, like, I really enjoy ODST, what they tried to do. I like them trying to tell a different story that's not, like, intergalactic, world-ending conflict, just a more personal squad-based story. I feel like it did it better than Reach, but that's a different discussion for later. But I also feel like they didn't go far enough, because the gameplay is you're just a gimped Spartan. Because when it was being hyped up, I was like, oh, wow, this is going to be so hard. You're going to be like, you don't have shields or anything, so every time you get shot, it's going to mean something. And it's just like, oh, no, you have quote-unquote stamina as your shield, like a Call of Duty soldier. And you just have the health bar for no reason.
It's not a Dark Souls game, Jake. It's still going to be a Halo game. It's not going to be that hard.
No, but they could use the health system that they already had from the previous games.
Yeah, I was expecting to have a shield or be Call of Duty. I was expecting you just have the health bar. And so when you get shot, it's like, okay, that's going to have major repercussions because I'm a foot soldier. I'm not undefeatable John.
You're undefeatable Steve.
Next thing you know, you get
unbeatable Steve. But I also feel like they didn't do the detective stuff well enough because, like, it's like, oh, you're supposed to find out the clues for your crewmates or whatever. But it's like you just go from A to B and it tells you exactly where to go. You're not doing any problem solving or detectiving at all. You just, oh, look at this helmet, and then it cuts you to a new mission. And then somehow your character's like, I know exactly where to find the next clue after this. Wow, look at this bent rifle. And somehow he learns everything about that fight from the bent rifle.
But I think that he doesn't. It's showing you, the player. It doesn't show him what happened. He's like looking back. He's like, what the fuck is this? This is my buddy's sniper rifle.
Technically, Charlie's right.
But it still doesn't make sense from his point. It's supposed to be this sleuthing detective thing. From there, like
not
that's how it
effective,
was
he's a soldier.
advertised. But at the end of the day, it's just Rookie wanders around a city for a few hours and then gets finds out where to go from a mission call.
I mean, sounds like
It was
the
a
majority
drop.
of games.
It was an orbital drop strike gone wrong. It's just like one of those like movies where you have to rally your combatants, under combatants, not combatants.
I think you were going for comrades, and then you mixed the two.
Yeah, I got confused. But you guys, yeah, it's like the enemy behind enemy lines, except it's like civilian territory. It could have been different, but they just kind of played it way too safe.
To really complete the behind enemy lines, I feel like they need to cast Owen Wilson as the main Spartan or ODST. That's a little inside tidbit fact for you behind enemy lines fans out there.
Didn't hear some deep cuts.
The little known facts.
Very small amount of people that saw that movie and actually remembered it.
Little fact.
I think I've heard of it.
Well, Jelly, what's your worst Halo game?
ODST is too easy to rag on, to be honest.
Okay.
It deserves everything.
I'll go with Halo Wars because I didn't even play Halo Wars.
You can't say it's your worst if you didn't play it.
Jake, that is a total Jake move. That's total Jake move. They're like,
What am I supposed to
I
say?
hate
All the Halo
ODST, but
games
I
are
want to
good.
make someone else feel bad.
Halo 4.
It's just like when Jake doesn't watch an anime and says it's the worst.
Oh my
Halo 4 I
god.
put a decent amount of time into.
Or
but,
when he just changes a pick to fuck up my chances of winning for once.
You gotta keep the streak alive.
Jesus.
Fuck you, Joel, too. I don't think I officially told that to
Is
you
that
yet.
threat or a promise?
You know what? Fuck all y'all. I'll see you tomorrow.
That's it. Pod's over. I don't know. I took like a kind of a hiatus from Halo, so I really played much after Reach. So off the limited kind of games I've played, I think ODST. Not that the firefight was bad. I love firefight, but yeah, I really just didn't vibe with most of the story anyway. I'm not really like a diehard Halo story guy, but ODST really, I didn't pay attention at all. It didn't even suck me in. I just like played the whole damn thing. I'm like, cool, firefight, here we come.
You're like, cool game. Time to kill some more Covenant.
Yeah, 100%. Like I didn't turn brain off, play game.
Cool game. So when does Reach come out?
It's the right reaction to have.
I mean, that's pretty much everyone's reaction at the time.
Yeah.
And
What's
now they're
next,
still
Jake?
like, when's the next Reach coming out? I want OG Bungie back in the helm one more time.
Bungie is dead.
Bungie is
I
super
know.
dead.
I know.
Bungie.
Jake.
I said I want OG Bungie, not new G Bungie.
If we could just resurrect OG Bungie and have them make more Halo games, that'd be swell.
Every good company has to die. You just hope they die before they become the villains.
Mm-hmm.
You say that, Austin, but Physical Games didn't have to die.
They didn't, but they didn't become the villain either. So, mission accomplished at the end of the day. They have a great legacy. I mean, yeah.
What's everyone's favorite Halo weapon?
Oh,
Favorite Halo weapon?
Sniper. I know that
And
shocks
this can go
everyone.
across
in
every
here.
game. Every game in the series counts.
Sniper.
Yeah, color
That shouldn't shock anyone.
Well, is it the human sniper or the Covenant sniper? Do you have a preference?
Human sniper. Yo, fuck the Covenant sniper. Human sniper is so much better.
I'm definitely gonna have to ride with the carbine.
Ooh, carbine's nice. Get that rapid fire action going.
Yep.
I like being a precise marksman, so I would probably put carbine as second.
Carbine's good shit.
So I have a pick that might surprise you, Joel, because it's not the energy sword.
Okay.
Spartan laser.
That is surprising, but that's respectable.
Like, I just fucking love getting that and then fucking blowing people away with that shit across the map. Gets me hard every time.
Back when I played Halo 3 a lot, And you know how Valhalla was super popular. When I didn't get the sniper, I would immediately go try to get the Spartan laser just to snipe people with the Spartan laser. Not even to snipe vehicles, just to snipe people with the Spartan laser.
Oh, that's what I do. Like, if there's no vehicles
Just
out,
'cause it
I
was
just go ahead
BM.
and practice my sniping with the laser.
Yeah, dude, it was so fucking BM. Like, to get killed by the Spartan laser, that shit was like the worst feeling in the world when you get
Right? And it's just like, bye-bye.
Like I saw this coming a mile away.
Should have seen it.
I saw Steve over there aiming at me.
Yeah.
No, not
you see
beatable
someone-
Steve.
You see someone take the grav lift, and you just see the red fucking laser, and you're just
Yeah.
like, I'm dead.
You knew you fucked up.
When you're in a warthog stranded upside down, and there's a Spartan laser pointed at you.
No,
How
please.
could this happen?
please.
to me?
My favorite weapon in the cross series has to be definitely the plasma pistol. I mean,
Oh hell yeah!
Oh boy.
The old
it
fucking
neutralizes
bam, and then you just beat them.
Get
you
the
can
blast
stop
and
people
whack.
from driving, which is pretty cool. Like you can snipe
Hacking and
people in the
whacking.
air. You're like, there's a banshee flying at me. I'm just gonna shoot this one gun that like stops it for a second, and then I'm just gonna board that shit. That's a cool
Fucking
gameplay
nice.
mechanic.
I remember being really good with the plasma pistol, but only because I played too many custom games where you had to use it.
You become a.
Can we just talk about how awesome the custom games are in Halo, though? Like, that's the shit that really keeps it alive.
Yeah,
I mean,
really.
yeah. I mean, otherwise, no one would care. Like, let's be real. Like, so many modern games out today that aren't just like competitive team deathmatch kind of thing came from like custom games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it really kind of revolutionized. Like, hey, just because it's a first-person shooter doesn't mean it needs to be hardcore all the time.
Yeah.
Coming from
And having
you,
a lot
Joel,
of
that
variants
means
and
a lot.
options.
It really does. It really does.
You
I
gotta
mean,
have a customizable experience. If you don't have adaptability in your game, then you're just gonna, it's just gonna get stale. That Halo is always really good about innovating and creating new experiences for people to have on their own.
Well, when you look at some like the popular games like Among Us, what else like a non-competitive like fun
Fortnite.
party game? No, because Fortnite's at least a little bit competitive, but
No.
games like Among Us where it's just like that shit didn't exist back then. So like games like Call of Duty 4 and Halo 3, you were making up your own games to fucking play for fun.
Make your own. Yeah, make your own Among Us. Or like I know Warcraft 3 was popular. Weren't they, Joel, with like their modding scene where they could do shit like that?
Well, that's
I'm not
where
sure.
Dota. That's where Dota and League of Legends came from.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah, you think about that before you shit on modding again, Joel. Fuck you.
Okay, you got problems, and we're not going into that right now because that requires its own intervention.
Custom games in the early games were great. Forge
Yes.
coming out in Halo 3 just really expanded the whole plethora of experiences you could have.
Yeah, you think
Oh,
about
that
Forge.
was
Fear
an
mode.
amazing idea on their part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, developing your own levels is something that a lot of games are like, hey, this is something that adds longevity to the experience. I think Halo was the first console game to really take hold of that idea.
I think Halo's probably the most popular and widely used example for how to make maps. Because there was games before that, like CSGO, where like the community could make maps. But
Counter-Strike. Stop saying CSGO.
sorry,
2.
Counter-Strike.
Like there are games there are even console games who try to do that. Time Splitters 3. They had a
I've never heard of that game.
Quake.
Even I've
Some
heard
people
of
here
Time
have heard it.
Splitters.
Time Splitters is a classic console shooter. It was from the guys who made GoldenEye. It was a good experience. Anywho, I'm pretty sure they had level editors in the second game, but the third game was even expanded. But it wasn't like free roaming, fly around the map and build as you like Forge does. It was very structured, and it's like you're building from a grid editor. And Halo took it from a different perspective. Like, hey, instead of making it kind of boring and seem very static, we're gonna make creating the levels part of the adventure, part of the experience. So turn you into a ball, and you can fly around and run into shit.
Hell
Mhm.
yeah.
Move shit around. It really added some of the fun parts of making a level, and probably got some people into the whole design of intricate level building. Because I mean, it wasn't complex necessarily, but you could do complex things like when you stop moving an object, then it's going to stay in position. So you like lock. I mean, that's how people built levels. They're just by taking up the game design.
I don't know if you remember when Forge first came out, but you used to not be able to freeze things in the air. So what you'd have to do is quit out of the game while you were holding it and go back in, and then it would be floating in the air.
Oh shit!
I
Really?
remember building. Yeah, dude. I remember building entire racetracks like that. It was the
God!
most time-consuming thing.
See, that's something that blows my mind. Is like the racetrack maps people would make. Like, I would never have thought people just making a map just like, hey, I got this racetrack map for Reese. We're just gonna chill on it for a couple hours, drive around, and shoot the shit. Like, this is crazy. Like, people thought to do that in a game that's originally about just shooting aliens.
Yep.
It was never just about shooting aliens. They had cars from the very beginning.
And then they killed that in the Master Chief Collection, but because you can't customize custom games at fucking all or use Forge, but
Are you sure you can't do that? I haven't really looked into it because I never was a big Forge guy.
You can't do fuck all, Jake. You literally can't change anything. I literally spent 30 minutes going through every single setting possible on a couple of game modes that I had downloaded because I wanted to change them, and you can't.
He's done the research.
You can't change someone else's game mode or the game modes.
No, you just can't change shit, and you don't have the ability to create like new game modes. Clearly,
see, this is why El Dorito needed to stick around. It was this free Halo. This free Halo, and it was great. People could mod in whatever the fuck they wanted.
Sure.
Was Halo 3 also one of the first games to have like a replay system?
Yeah,
it was like
at least console-wise,
widely used.
There weren't a lot of first-person shooters that did it. Like, so I can think of a few examples off the top of my head. Did you guys ever play Driver on the PlayStation?
Yep.
Nope.
Driver, the first one had a replay system.
As Jake launches Halo to go fucking check what I'm talking about. I see you, motherfucker.
Fuck off! You just don't keep talking about this thing right now. I'm doing live research. Jelly, you keep going.
Jelly, did you ever play Stuntman?
I remember playing renting it. I rented it.
Time to do some research, but no, I do remember Driver having one for sure.
Mm.
My first
it had all the cinematic camera angles and all that.
Yeah,
Halo needed more of that though.
My first kind of introduction to the replays and whatnot was definitely to Halo 3.
Well, I think they did a really good job of showing you about it because there was even stuff in game. Like, you didn't have to be part of any forums or anything. There was just stuff in game. Like, here's the clip of the week or some dumb shit. And it was super easy to make clips.
They self-incentivized you to be creative.
And
I think they were inspired by the fact that Rooster Teeth, even with Halo 1, was making whole machinimas. Machinima became a big thing, and they're like really wanting to take advantage of that scene. And so I think it was a brilliant decision on their part to implement it then, if not sooner. They probably should have done it sooner. Because they did a few things, like you being able to lower the gun in Halo 2, and every game onward came from the fact that people were making for videos using the characters, and they wanted them to look a little bit less goofy.
Well, you just don't want to flag your teammate for no reason?
Do it all the time. Fuck them.
Never going to the range with Austin.
Shame.
Hey guys, look at this. My favorite every time. Shoots gun once. I'm having a great time. Fucking. Oh my god. No, I really like how you talk about all these separate things. Like, they're impressive on their own, like Forge and the replay system, and even like the overall kind of competitive but also social aspect of the game. And then you combine it into one ecosystem like they did. It's really impressive all the way around. Even today, if they came out with something like that today and it was as popular, it'd be like, oh, It's Halo
People
3
want
all over
those. People are craving those experiences again. They want a traditional old Halo experience. They don't want a bunch of Spartans that they don't know running around fighting off the alien of the week that just got introduced into the series. They want the Covenant. They want Master Chief going in there fucking shit up.
You see, people say that, but at the same time, companies don't want to do that because the older people that have already played Halo are the ones that are saying that. Companies generally want new blood. They want to bring in new people because, in general, like gaming's becoming a more like mainstream thing, but it's not like mainstream. So they want to like continue updating it to make sure that it feels up to date with all the other games out, so that if someone doesn't have a polarizing experience the first time they play Halo, if it feels super clunky and old school.
I had a polarizing experience when I got killed by a fucking Phantom Mauler. That changed my life.
Well, Halo 5's got some pay to win issues.
Dude, Halo 5, I have no idea how that wrecks. I just want to hear the fucking pitch for the rec system. Like, all right, guys,
We can make all the money. That's the
have
pitch.
That's all it was needed.
as stupid as it is, they give you so much random shit in the game already. It's like, what the fuck else could you want? Like, I honestly had everything, and I'm like, I'm not even like buying anything.
They want $20 per match win. That's what they want.
It's for the whales, Austin.
They want little kids to memorize their parents' card information. Fucking hacker man that shit in.
Hey man, are you telling me that if you were a young kid that shit wouldn't work?
Yeah,
My parents would beat my
I
ass.
was a
I
good
would
lad,
probably
Joel.
get called about the first month that the bill came in. They'd be like, what the fuck's this all about?
Same shit.
I don't know.
I got my ass beat after that.
I was a studious lad. I wouldn't have never disrespected my parents like that.
A student.
A studious
How
young
does
man.
you being studious have anything to do with your moral integrity? Explain to me. I read a book. I can't be bad. Fuck them. That's what you mean.
You can be morally studious. Can you not be morally studious?
You didn't say that though. You just you are.
This is some cult leadership. It's like,
You
can
are
I
a
not be
fucking
morally
cult
studious?
leader. I read the book.
I can't
Jelly,
be
can
wrong.
you go ahead and like hold that book up like this within your hand? I read the book. I know what's right. That is you.
That's true.
Oh shit.
I love it. I am gonna get a call one day, but like you're not gonna believe this. Jelly's holed up in his workplace. He's converted all the residents. Oh my
I have
god!
an army.
I'd love it honestly.
I have an army of people.
Yeah. It's gonna be it'll be a slow army, but you know
It's
what?
gonna be
They
a
don't
gray
stop for
dawn.
nothing. They're stubborn.
Jelly 10 years Kelly goes to Jelly 80 years Kelly.
Better watch
Jelly's
out.
gunning for some of that inheritance.
One of them gold diggers.
Moving on.
Jelly's heard enough. The bashing.
I'm trying to keep us on track and on schedule. So,
We have no schedule.
Favorite vehicles, boys. Let's go.
All right. Well, if we want to keep it on track and we're talking about modern Halo, I got a hot take. I like the story ideas for Halo 4.
I don't even think I played Halo 4.
Bold take, Jake.
Yeah. Ooh. Edgy.
I'm not sure we can be friends now, Jake.
Now I have to look up synopsis.
Joel will remember this.
You remember
Halo
it's
4 plot.
We'll remember this next time we play a game
wakes up
together.
in a space boat. Aliens are there still because he's like, oh, these are not the aliens that surrendered. These are the ones that are offshoot. They're renegade covenant.
Well, they didn't say that. They said, I don't know. We might be offshoot.
Still. Oh, it's a new planet. They got the Forerunner technology.
I don't enjoy that they brought the Forerunners back into the fold.
I like that they did that, but they are the shittiest. They took such a cool, like, old faction and just made them look lame as hell. They made them look lame and they act lame. There's like no enemy variety amongst them. It's like this is the least complex like
Yeah,
pre-ancient
that was bad.
technology ever.
What are you telling me? You're telling me you fucking
No, I'm telling you that the Halo Legends, the DVD, like showed the Forerunners. I'm like, those are badass dudes fighting off
Yes.
the flood. I'm like, this is a civilization of super highly intelligent people. I want to see that. I don't want to see
orange light
alien
slapped together with white triangles.
fading in. And
The fucking Prometheus just heard it looking and it's landed outside Jelly's fucking house. Like, goddamn
Are you
lights.
boys telling me you didn't like the space dog that you had to fight over and over again all campaign?
No,
you don't like
it's
shoot
Those
him in the
fucking
mouth.
bastards. I do remember. I did play 4. I think I played it over. I think I borrowed it. I might have actually bought. I don't even fucking know. It was that unmemorable of a game. I cannot even remember if I actually own it. I remember fighting the Prometheans. Those fuckers were annoying.
They were. So it's like I have a love-hate relationship with Halo 4 because I hate everything how they handled the Prometheans, the Forerunners. I hate how they handled the new Storm Covenant because they don't explain fuck all. But I like the direction they took by trying to actually develop Chief and Cortana's relationship and Chief as a character. Because after like 5 games, it's like, okay, let's try and do something a little different and make it a bit more of a personal journey, which is I commend, and I don't understand why people got up in arms about.
It's because he's supposed to just be an avatar for the character to be a placeholder for the player, and that's fair. But I do think he needed development at that point, because if they're gonna go with the having like a silent protagonist sort of thing, then they would have made him totally silent and replaceable. But they didn't replace him because Master Chief is such an iconic badass.
Hold
so why
up.
not develop the iconic badass.
Full stop.
Full stop. How about this? How about instead of Halo 4 being about Master Chief, we just do something different and not bring up the old story that's already played out and then have to reinvent it?
Well, here's what they should.
Joel,
instead
that takes
of just-
effort.
Well, no,
I mean, I'd
think
also
they
be
should
okay with
continue
that.
the
I
story.
Because Joe, you know Naomi, right?
Yes.
So I would like for the audience, that's a Spartan from the Kilo 5 trilogy of books. And they use her a bit to explore the humanity of the Spartans. And I feel like they should have just picked her or another Spartan to do that type of exploration with.
Or we could have done Grey Team.
They
Could
don't
have done
have
great
the
team.
marketability
You could have
of
finally
Master
had the
Chief.
fucking Arbiter game that was rumored, but got shafted for ODST.
It's all right.
Not
yeah.
salty at all.
Here's the problem with that. I think that if they wanted to pivot Halo to being more Spartan focused and less just Chief focused game, then they should have started that early on. But they didn't. They kind of kept with like Chief being like the focus of the story plotline focus. If they had included other Spartans or like kind of told the story a little bit differently, they could have involved all the extra characters that they
Well,
have.
they could have done that instead
they
of
still
have Halo
can,
4
but-
because 3 ended his arc, honestly.
And they
Like,
kind of were
3
testing
could
the
have ended
waters.
his
it
arc
seemed
entirely.
like. Because they had
would've
ODST
been
about the
good.
ODSTs. Reach was about your Spartan 3s. And
You could have
George.
spent 4 exploring everything that you talked about.
Yeah, I think that would have been a good move to do, but I do think that they needed to have a new trilogy of games with Chief, just not the ones that they did.
I think
Like,
they're
I think
stuck with
this story
Chief and they
could go
don't
on.
know what to do with him at this point. Because at this point, you make him talk, people are going to be like, oh, Chief is too emotional. He's crying. This is bullshit. And then you don't have him talk. People are like, oh,
Chief
this is
would
the
never
same character you've
cry.
had for 20 years. Why don't you do something new?
Chief Fino didn't fucking bitch or cry.
Yeah, he's not John Rambo.
He did whatever it
John
took.
fucking- He's not a pussy that cries at the end of the movie.
Yeah, he had no fucking feelings.
He doesn't have
Well,
a
he's
chip
not
over there
feelings.
to
Goddamn killing machine.
emotionally reel him in. He's massacred generations upon generations of
Of
alien
grunts.
babies.
Hey, man.
Hey, I feel bad whenever I kill the grunts. They're practically
Yeah, I
slaves.
feel bad too. I couldn't be Chief. He's fucking
There-
rolling around just cold cocking them with a fucking rifle button.
He just walked over him.
They're blowing up in confetti left and right.
There was
And then a
another
Marine-
Spartan
a
that was
Marine goes
considered
talk to him,
hyper
like-
lethal.
There's like a lowly Marine next to him. He's like, I think we should exit. I think we should enter through this way. And then the Chief just looks at him like,
Could you fucking imagine?
We're walking through the army.
I'm gonna walk straight through that fucking door and shoot them all. You guys are either follow me or die. I don't give a fuck about you guys. We're gonna go fuck up that alien base before they end humanity. You pussy shit. You better get your shit in line.
I don't like it when Jilly's mad.
Joey's scary.
Daddy, no.
Could you imagine trying to compete with the fucking alpha energy that Master Chief brings to a room. Like the Sarge is not the only man that could even compete on his level.
And that's just because he's a suave badass. He's like
Yeah.
Han Solo is Master Chief, and the other dude is Lando.
Lando.
Sergeant.
I mean,
I thought you were about to call
technically,
fucking Chewbacca.
technically Johnson is semi in the Spartan because he was in the Spartan program. He was in the Orion program, which was like a lead up to the Spartan 2 program.
Spartan 100% badass.
So
Yeah.
was he one of the captured children too?
No, so the
No.
Spartan ones are basically just soldiers that were like super duper special forces, and then sent on secret missions, but they didn't have any augments or anything.
He fought other humans.
Well,
Yeah.
and then the
That was
Orion
really
program
cool.
happened where they tried to augment people. And I believe Johnson was part of that, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, so he is augmented, but initially he wasn't.
But it's not to the degrees that the 2, 3, or 4s are.
No. They don't get ceramic coated bones that are impossible to break and
Ceramic
things out of sight.
coated bones.
Yes. That is a
Ceramic,
thing.
the strongest dense
Give me
material.
my pottery bones.
I won't fucking looking them back up.
Ceramic bones.
While he's looking that up, I need to make a distinction very clear: is the suit does not jack Master Chief off. That is a shitpost, not canon.
But no one brought this up.
We're talking about the augments. I wanted to bring that up because one of the augments is they have a reduced sex drive.
How do you know that? Where
I
the
didn't
fucking
know
more
that.
do they talk about this?
It's in the Halo Fall of Reach book where they're talking about the augments they do to the Spartans. And it's also brought in a later book.
I'm not horny.
Carbine ceramic ossification, advanced material grafting onto the skeleton structures to make bones virtually unbreakable.
I'll take your word for it. That's a lot of words.
I'm not going to argue with that science.
In other words, you would not want to arm wrestle a Spartan.
Not unless you were an elite or a brute. Or Johnson.
No, well, they also have muscular enhancement injections, protein complexes injected to increase tissue muscle
In other words-
density and decrease lactose recovery time.
In other words, John Spartan uses whey every morning.
Yes.
And that's not talking about the Spartan 3s, where the more fucked up they get, the more their adrenaline kicks them, and they get even stronger.
I forgot that was a thing.
But they also have to take like psychotropics to make sure they don't go fucking nuts.
We just
The sheer amount of knowledge you have on this subject is both alarming but inspiring.
Thank you.
It's very helpful for podcasts.
Is June a Spartan 3?
Yes. All of Noble Team were Spartan 3s except George.
That's what I thought. Okay.
And then June
Yeah,
went on
George
to
the
recruit
OG.
for Spartan 4.
Yeah, I didn't remember the part about them needing to take medicine, but I trust you.
It's in the books. I don't know how much it actually came into the Reach game, if at all.
Okay.
None of the games had the Spartans that didn't have shields, right?
No, the
There's
only
no
time
Halo
you didn't have a shield was as when you played ODST.
And like in Halo Wars, all the Spartans there had shields by that point. Because I thought that was a prequel.
Technically, when you're like playing the skirmish multiplayer mode, I think they start without shields, but that's just so you can buy upgrades later and it's balanced and shit.
Because I thought that was
Canonically,
like
I believe they all have shields because they had the Mjolnir armor.
Yeah, isn't that part of the Mjolnir armor? And I
Yeah,
think the
that was
earliest that
one
we
of the-
played is like Mark IV,
not the first
right?
one. Because I remember watching Halo Legends, the one of the episodes.
Yeah, Mark
that
1, it's just basically a little mech.
Yeah, the Mark 1, they didn't have the shield units then. It was just heavier armor. Speaking of
It's
Halo
like a mech.
Mark 4 or 5 onward has shields.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Mark IV is the first one we see, and I believe Mark IV is shields. So
I thought it was Mark 5 was the first one we see. I could be getting it mixed up, though.
could be. I don't remember now, but it's either 4 or 5.
The H runting or the HRUNTING suit, the Halo mech is awesome.
Yes.
Like I wish the games would use the suit. It was like in one. Like I don't even think it's been in anything else other than the movie.
No,
and
it's just in
probably-
one of those shorts, which good reference, because that ties it back to us being an anime podcast. Watch Halo Legends, everyone. It is a great movie. It has like 7 different shorts, and they're all pretty wildly different because they're all by different animation studios. One of them's done by the same studio that does Dragon Ball, so it's like a light-hearted filler episode that's not canon.
Oh my god! Now I totally see that. Now I know exactly which one you're talking
Or
about.
it follows the
too.
best Spartan of all time, Spartan 1337, aka Spartan Leet, as he fist fights a super brute.
Things I didn't think I was gonna hear today.
What a
and-
badass.
Have you never seen it, Dammit, or Joel?
No, I have not.
I don't know why
Jake.
you guys continually think I'm some like Halo. Like
I don't.
Well,
aficionado
Austin,
and-
you, I'm not so surprised about, but Joel, I am surprised you've never seen Halo Legends.
I've never. No.
You'll like it. It's got some good insight onto like Halo lore stuff. Like that's what I was engaged by. I wish they did more of those and less of the like just Halo TV shows.
I've already gone overboard on the Halo lore once. I don't really need to
I
do
mean, the
it
Halo
again.
books obviously you have a lot more lore, but I just like
No.
how anime and I like how they showed the different experiences. Like they showed like the elites back in like their feudal eras, I guess, when they were just like sword wielding.
Oh yeah, that was the story of the first Arbiter. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Because it has like a super unique, like almost like water paint style look to the
he was a
animation.
samurai. He was pretty much samurai like the fuck out of everybody. It was a
Pretty
it was
much.
a good, and he was like, and he like his rival murdered his wife and stuff. It was a really touching short. I like the episode that
What?
like, showed just
Okay.
lore. Like there's like the first two. There's 8 parts of it. It is a 7-part story, but the first 2 parts are just a lore breakdown. They
Yeah, it's
start at
basically the build up
beginning,
from prehistory
middle,
to
and
the
then
modern
show.
war.
Yeah.
Okay, so I literally am watching a fucking elite in a samurai cosplay with an energy sword fight the Arbiter. Okay,
Yeah.
this is a thing.
It's badass.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's pretty
Badass.
great.
This is Japan meets Halo, and it's weird, and I don't like it.
And then, you gotta see the one where the fist fighting the super brute, and it's like an anime.
That sounds badass.
There's
You
like
got me
there's
there.
like two kids that also have superpowers fighting.
Yeah, like
this
no,
fucking-
it's never explained either.
They're literally just Super Saiyan children
Who are
out of nowhere. Why aren't they in the Spartan program? Wait, Jake, are they canon? Are those like 2 children that are like super?
No, that short's non-canon.
Damn it!
So
I can't see why not. It doesn't upheave.
it was just a fun little one-off they wanted to have.
It was fun.
On the bright side, you could watch probably another anime that is probably better than that.
Which I wish
It
they would
doesn't
do
matter.
more of, because like as much as I love the Halo lore, there's people that get super like tied to it more than I do. Because anything that kind of
And that right there is surprising.
Like I remember back in the day, people were up in arms on forums because the DMR used the same caliber bullet as an assault rifle. And they're like, this
How does it
canonically doesn't
work?
make sense because in the game, the DMR is doing more damage per bullet than the assault rifle. So why is it the same caliber of round? I'm like, guys, you gotta stop.
I mean, you're talking like the same thing happened on Call of Duty forums, bro. Same thing.
It's like, I
happens in
get
any
being
game
into the
where you
lore,
give
but
up
this is a step
realistic
too
shit.
far. When you start,
The sniper is
debating
the same.
which caliber round your rifle's using.
I mean, let's be real. That's just the internet. The internet is just like that. All right, Jake. What's next on the agenda?
How we doing on time
God
here?
damn.
You got time.
We got time. Probably start wrapping it up here. All right. So, what's everyone's opinions on? I'd call it modern Halo. So, Master Chief Collection initial release to now.
It's garbage.
Yeah, I
can't-
played like Halo 3 online. That's about it.
It's garbage.
I like.
I
They-
enjoy the online.
It's
but
on computer. I'm not going to complain.
the fact that even after the time it, see, can someone look? You know what? I'll look it up. How long was the fucking gap between when they tried to launch it on the Xbox and when it actually made it to the PC?
Master Chief
The-
Collection?
4
Yeah,
years.
the
It's pretty
whole
like 4
fucking
years.
the first year
Like
of the
6 or
Master
7
Chief
years.
on console was dog shit. Like,
Yeah.
did not work. And after all the struggle, I'm glad that it got to be on PC. But you're telling me they couldn't add like an actual everything, like the forge that Joel was talking about and everything. You tell me that couldn't have been added in.
Which,
Come on
by
now.
the way, I did fact check. Forge is there, Joel, along with being able to change custom games.
You can't change them to the same extent. You can forge, but you
Joel
can't do
will
custom
not
game
settle
modes.
on this point. It's
No,
not the
'cause
goddamn same.
I literally spent half an hour last time we were playing Halo, which is the only time I fucking play Halo, is when Jake's like, let's get on Halo.
You know what?
I
should play
spent
Halo
half an
tonight.
hour in the fucking lobby trying to fucking change the game modes the way I wanted to, and I couldn't. They're super limited on how they change shit.
And Joel was big sad.
I mean, I guess we should just be lucky we have a game at this point. Because it only took him a year and a half to actually get it working on the console.
I got 20 hours, and that's only because that's the times when Jake is like, we need to play Halo, and I'm like, is everyone playing Halo? Fuck, everyone's playing Halo. God fucking damn it. Okay.
Joel, you sound like a battered housewife being forcibly returned to Halo at this point.
I mean,
It's
the
where you
only
found
reason,
your first love, but now it's
Jake, I want to
tired.
play Halo
You have to
is
come
for
home
custom
to it,
games.
record
They
every
fucked
day,
up.
You want to take care of it. It's understandable.
The only reason I want to play is for custom games. They fucking butchered custom games. It's super hard to find the fucking custom games you played back in the day. And motherfucking Jake, I'm the only one that looks up custom games, even though you said you would.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
dropped
a
the
lot
ball
of-
on that one, and I wish
I
there
feel
was,
a lot
there
of
was a better
tension.
way to do file share. Because the file share on this is like, you think it'd be an easy way just to look it all up in the game, but they haven't done that. I guess I should just be happy it's not a shit show like it was on the Xbox One.
It's worse than it was on the Xbox.
Oh, you obviously did not keep up
Jesus
on how
fucking
bad it is
Christ.
on Xbox One.
Joel, you couldn't even pick what game you're playing when you're matchmaking sometimes. Like, it would literally just, it's all just culminated
if
into
you
one
got a
fucking
match.
matchmaking pool. It's fucking dog shit.
I will
Trust me,
agree to
Joel,
disagree on
Curb
this.
your enthusiasm.
Like,
I will
Master
agree
Chief
to
Collection on
disagree on
PC
this.
is in a pretty good spot right now.
Shut the fuck up, Jake. No, it's not.
It isn't
It
a good
really
start right now.
is,
I'm not going to sit here and say it's not.
Better
What
than
the
it
fuck
was
else you
when
want,
without
Joel?
games.
Forge is in there, Joel.
It gets
Browser
better
has-
each time. It only gets better each time it has an update.
It really does, though. The last one fixed the hit registration in Halo 3.
I have zero desire to play the game. And I played it, and I thought it was a worse experience than when I played it on Xbox. So that's fucking, yeah.
It's gonna change.
Well,
like,
yeah, Joel. It's
when
only
we grow
been like
up.
fucking 13 years.
You've been playing this old video game like this doesn't hit like it used to when I was a kid.
You're turning into the fucking new kids where we're playing like fucking Call of Duty 4. Like, yeah, this is shit. And little kids like, this is fucking trash. Where's the Fortnite? That's you right now, Joel.
Dude, I actually love the COD 4 remake, other than the servers were bad.
Yeah, that was a kind of a misstep on their part. Once again, like, I don't understand how they go through all the trouble to get some of these things going and then drop the ball on something simple like that. It annoys the hell out of me.
I don't know. They're remaking Modern Warfare 2. Anyone else buying that?
Well, it's just the
Probably
campaign,
not.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Just
So what's
fucking
this, like-
campaign. In
So you
before
just lost
$60
Bennett right there because he
dollars.
doesn't play it for the campaign.
Campaign's
I forgot that was
Campaigns
campaign
are not
until you said
trash.
that.
Why would you only? Who the fuck is who the fuck is breaking down the goddamn doors at Infinity Ward or Sledgehammer? Who are the fuck still making the goddamn games and being like, I don't want multiplayer Modern Warfare 2. I want campaign. And seriously,
Like, if it was
oh my
multiplayer,
God.
I would have been
They'd rather
interested.
have
I was
a
like,
campaign
okay, I
than
can do
anything.
some, like, shits and grins with dual-wielding shotguns.
In before the campaign, $60 fucking dollars.
My guess is because they're trying to push the fucking game, like the new game multiplayer. But
So the
by
one
the
that
way,
needs a dedicated hard
the
drive.
the
Shameless
current
plug.
game, I'm not a fan of Warzone, but the actual multiplayer is actually a shit ton of fun.
I believe
It's a
it.
lot of
Thanks
fun.
for
I'll
that,
take your
Joel.
word for it. I just can't justify 250 gigs on one game.
Oh yeah, that.
You justified 130 something for Gears of War 5.
Hey, that was
Yeah,
one.
he
Hey,
could almost
that
fit
was a
2 Gears
playthrough.
5s for one of those games.
That's still about half the size.
Yeah.
And that's for Gears 4. Gears 5 is like 80 gigs, which is still shit, but a bit more reasonable.
Hola.
Hola,
Amigo.
So, I guess Jake, what is there left to thrash on?
Halo 5 was pretty shit. Halo Infinite dropped the ball hard with its unveil, and now we don't know fuck all about it.
We
It
know
only
that there's
dropped the fucking ball.
directors are leaving.
Yeah.
know that
Okay,
they keep-
first
they
off, that
keep
guy was off the
hemorrhaging staff.
project. That guy that was off the fucking project in like March. He has not been a part of it for months. They
The guy
just
that was
actually let go of him, though.
Okay.
I will
So
say, though, they did bring in Joe Staten, who was one of the original creative heads from Bungie on the good Halo games a few
To
months
come
Yeah.
and
ago.
fix it up.
Is it alarming? Yes, but at the same time, I mean,
I think the thing that
Cyberpunk's been
has
delayed
me
3
super
fucking
worried
times. So
is that's supposed to be the next big flagship Xbox title for their new console. And as of that showing, it was confirmed to be on PC, the Xbox X, and the original Xbox One. So it's like,
And the
are they going
multiplayer
now?
is
Are they
free.
like, why is it still on the Xbox One? Why is it
Because the
being held
multiplayer is
back like
free.
that?
So,
When the multiplayer is free, it's going to draw in so many people if they can nail it right.
The free-to-play garbage is going to fuck up your customization, though, and that's been
I
pretty much
fucking hate
confirmed.
free to play.
No, but I'm saying that's going to make them. It's going to get their market out there. This is the model that works. I mean, Halo 5's multiplayer is as shitty as it become. Their what's the card system called?
Rec system.
The rec system. It's gonna get pushed. You know, they make money off of it, so and it has its fans. I'm sure.
Yeah, microtransactions is what every game is putting in it now.
It's because it works. It's because there's enough dumb people to pay for them.
Exactly.
So they're going to keep doing that, and that's going to be the model that's going to work for them. I think.
I mean, I guess my whole thing is
money,
like,
then that's what they're gonna do.
like we haven't seen anything of the game since E3. All we get is little bits from like cross promotions, and the fact it's free to play means if you want your character to be a certain color or armor, you better hope you buy that right color pack and get lucky.
Yeah, they did do that.
You know what pisses me off, and we talked about this already a little bit, Jake, is that even though you paid for the fucking game, what are they gonna do? They're gonna let you make whatever color you want? No,
Probably
you're gonna be thrown in with the same. They're gonna have some weird bonus for buyers of the game, but you're still gonna be thrown into the bullshit free to play.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy the
aspect.
game for $60, and for what? So I can still not be able to customize my Spartan?
You have to get the Verizon phone plan to get their Verizon color pack.
You gotta make sure you get
Your
all the Monster
AT&T
Energy drinks for the
Blue.
double XP codes.
Well, nowadays it's like games are trying to give you so much time to invest things into, and then they're just like, hey, you can shortcut all this with money, and that's what they're doing. Like,
I blame Battlefield. They're the first game that were like, you know, we have like 1,000,000 levels you can play. Like you have to put like 100 hours just to unlock this sniper rifle here.
Or
but
you
if
could
want
pay
to
$40 and unlock everything.
Yeah,
stupid
they're the
shortcut
first
shit.
game.
They've always
Those are
done
the
them in the
first
Battlefield
game.
games. I think 3 is what started it.
Mhm.
That sounds right.
doing that. I don't
They
remember
started
that.
it late into the process. People were pissed because, like, you know, I've been playing this game for a year, and then they just introduced the thing where you can skip to the end of it.
It was
Oh, wow.
the
I didn't
thing. The thing with it is they never really promoted it that hard on Battlefield. It was always like it's a thing, but it's not like the thing. They're not throwing it in your face. That being said, let's just wait for the next Battlefield because I guarantee microtransactions. It's going to be a full price online game.
Well,
I
let's
don't
hope they
care. I'm
learn
hoping
from
for-
5.
I'm hoping
not
for
make
Battlefield
gaming.
6
Yeah, I
being
know,
great.
and that's what I really.
It's going back to modern. It's going back to like the 4 aesthetic. Please.
So, yeah, if you're gonna get a Battlefield 5 just in modern day times, you're gonna be disappointed too, Joel. So,
They're gonna go in the future.
Dude, I want to. I've played 4 like currently, and it's still fun as fuck. Just give me like a 4, but up to date with the new player base that's actually continuously playing it.
Dude,
more
I go
than
back to
4.
BF1 every now and then, and that one's still solid.
BF1's a good game. I really do. I think honestly, BF1 is one of the best Battlefield games to come out in a long time.
Like even with all the
Anyway.
bullshit, like it has like the fire grenades, I still really enjoy that one.
Fucking fire grenades.
Those things can
Anyway.
burn in hell.
Anyway, Halo. Well,
Yes.
what else you got on this topic? Was
I don't know. I'm cautious about what this next game's gonna be like. It's like if the multiplayer's gonna be free, I get no bonuses from buying it. Why don't I not just game pass the campaign and then play the multiplayer when I'm done with it?
you should probably do that.
Probably. I want them to
Probably
prove
most
me wrong. I want
way
them
to
to be
do
like,
it.
here's a reason why it should be on your digital shelf. But given their track record of Halo 5 being weak and then Halo 4 being a mixed bag, I'm not super optimistic.
I mean, the trailer for it is interesting and cool, but I saw that like I don't know how fucking long ago.
Exactly. And I almost feel like they're kind of overcorrecting on people's criticisms of, oh, we don't like Locke. So it's like, oh, let's just take out all these characters so it's just Chief and Random Pilot.
Random
Which
pilot,
I'm
dude.
sure they'll have more characters from the universe in, but it's just a weird overcorrection to initially unveil just Master Chief and this rando.
Especially if Halo Infinite is supposed to be one of those games that evolves over time, so that they are going to introduce. It's going to be. I might be wrong about this, Jake, but aren't they kind of doing like imagine like the Spartan Ops, but into more of a campaign style?
That's another thing
I
that
think
has
they want
me
to
worried
expand
because they
upon
said
that.
Halo Infinite's going to be their game for the next 10 years. They more or less phrased it to how Destiny has a 10-year plan. Trust in the plan. And so it's just like,
Destiny had a fucking 10-year plan.
Destiny
Yeah.
had a plan.
Yeah,
that's what it was
Destiny
always
had a plan.
announced.
that was
Are you telling
You
me?
guys,
we put
Alright.
10 years into building this story for you, and then the story in the game was there was a story that happened long ago, but that's for
Well,
another time. Go to
if you
my
wanna-
website.
if you want a funny fact here, Destiny 1 launched in September of 2014, and they launched a new game 3 years later. So that 10-year plan was, not all
Oh,
there.
yeah. I think even before Destiny 1 came out, they're like, yeah, we have to make a sequel.
We have to get on that sweet, sweet money.
Pretty much.
Because they said originally that there wasn't going to be a sequel. They were just going to update the original. And then I think later on or like shortly after the first one came out, they're like, yeah, we have to make a sequel because this game, it's just not going to work out the way we didn't have the bones built right.
No, they're like, oh no, we don't want to make a sequel, so we're
They
just
weren't
going to
ceramic
cut out half the
plated.
game and keep working on this one game.
And before they relaunched the planets they just took out for like the next DLC, you have to own the DLC to get them.
Oh Jesus Christ, that's so awful, but it's probably what's going to happen.
Would it surprise you? Would it fucking surprise you? They'll
I mean,
phrase
the
it
fact
as something like access to the vault. Don't
And
even.
I mean, the fact that one of the new places they brought back for this new DLC is literally an area from Destiny 1 kind of supports your theory.
And these are the people that are in charge of the next Halo game.
No, that's just Bungie. 343 hasn't done that shit yet, but sounds like they're gearing up for it, which makes me
Aren't
scared.
they owned by the same company?
No, Destiny's Bungie. 343 is not Bungie.
Yeah, aren't they both owned by the same company?
343 is not owned by
Bungie's
Activision.
independent.
Bungie is owned by Activision. Or
I
was.
thought 343 was.
Yeah, I don't think anymore.
343 is owned by Microsoft.
Oh, even worse.
What? Check your
It's like you forgot that Halo is a Microsoft brand, Joel.
Joel Sano here is like, I got another hot take. Why ain't Halo on PlayStation?
Dude, like, I know a lot about Halo because I'm a fan of the old games, but, like, I'll be real with you. Like, 4, 5, like, 6, like, I could not give less of a fuck. Like, the Master Chief Collection, Jake, you bought it for me. I would not own it otherwise.
I still think it's in a good state, but we passed that time. I would say one good silver lining about the modern Halo series. Halo Wars 2, great game, is a banger.
Halo Wars in general, good game.
Halo Wars is an underrated game.
It really is. I wish it got more love.
I would love to play it sometime, even though I rated it as the worst Halo game. It's because I haven't played it yet.
I don't know. I've seen what you
God
can.
damn it,
I've seen what you do on Sins of a Solar Empire, so I can only imagine what you
You
do on
gave me
Halo.
10 minutes. You gave me 10 minutes. You're like, here's a breakdown of all the billion mechanics there is in this game. Here you go.
There is a lot going on.
I would have if Brendan was here. He would.
There is
fucking
so much shit. They're like,
would
yeah, you own
massacre
the
you
planet,
right now.
and you have to move your spaces, and you have to move your ships into solar space, and you're going to compete for.
Oh my god, it's like
resources.
RTS.
It's like the name of the game.
My experience with RTS is like a big 0.
Your experience with MOBA is a big 0 too.
Yes.
Don't
That's
worry.
not an oof-worthy statement. If I can't play Fizz on League of Legends, what's the fucking point?
Okay. I got one final topic to send us off on.
All right.
What's a
It's
future Halo game
unavailable.
you'd like to see made? A dream, if you will.
Great
Can I
team.
just have like Halo 3 remastered, where it's literally just Halo 3 but modernized in all the nice ways? Yeah.
Halo,
I didn't think
Halo
that was going to
1
happen either.
remastered again. Oh, I
Um,
Halo 1 remastered a second and third time.
Yeah.
Give me a story
Even
about
better
Grey Team,
graphics.
like the books, or like even like a training story about Grey Team. Basically, they're just a rebellious bunch of fucking shitheads. They're like,
Hell yeah.
and the program's like, I don't know how to deal with them. They're like, take them out of the rest of the program, teach them to be fucking savages, and send them out behind enemy lines for months.
Honestly,
An
that would
Arbiter
really
game would be
work as like a
fun.
Republic Commando type game. Like, I'm surprised they
You
haven't
say
done
that-
something like that.
Why am I not surprised you somehow made this connection?
Because it's the perfect
Shit.
connection! What about you, Jay? What's your dream Halo game?
I don't know. Doing a game where you're controlling the Arbiter and his flock of aliens would be cool.
How,
Is that what you call
like
a group
Halo
of
Wars?
elites, a flock?
His flock!
Yeah.
The Arbiter in his flock! Well, he's using that
Yeah.
verbiage because
Chief
that's
in
what
his flock.
cult leaders and
I
priests
mean-
call their followers.
I'm ready to say is like Arbiter the Messiah now.
I mean,
Yeah, he's the
a
shepherd.
flock
He's the
sounds
shepherd.
better than a cornucopia. So, or an infestation, because that's what you call a group of people. But
Heyo.
Anyway, I'll agree with Jelly. I'd like to see Arbiter tag team with Urtos Vadim, a.k.a. the Shipmaster from Halo 3.
Or just something from the other side, because you've always viewed it from the human perspective of this universe.
I'd
And you
like
get-
that quite a
perspective. Let's get a grunt perspective. Let's get a grunt that fought Master Chief's perspective.
Okay, Joel, what if I
I don't
told you
think
The game
there's a mod
is you
campaign
stare up
out
and you're
right
like,
now?
oh god, no!
Not again!
And he just slaps you, and then your jetpack on the back of your back just sends you flying into
Yeah.
a wall.
The game is 5 minutes long. It's just Chief hunting you through a forest while you run away.
It's just Ewok Hunt from Battlefront 2.
What a fucking
Press-
good mode.
Press left trigger to pull out your suicide plasma
The
grenade.
suicide grenade.
I'm taking this bitch with me.
So, Joel,
Run
what if I
towards the
told you
scorpion.
there was a great
With the
campaign
plasma-
out right now? It's
I
some sort of
can't-
mod. I've never looked into it, but I've heard people talk about it.
I'm good.
Joel doesn't do mods, first off.
I don't.
First mistake.
Yeah.
Anything that involves searching the web, Joel doesn't do.
Oh, he searches the web. He just doesn't like fun.
Sure. We'll go with
Again,
that one.
C400
Not
some
right.
odd
It's
hours.
not,
to
it's
see
not
what's
worth
good.
arguing.
Not wrong.
It's not worth arguing with Austin right now.
Joel, you're a spider. You use the web, but only to kill and consume.
What is this
Just
analogy?
end the pod. Just end the pod, Joel. Just cut the episode right there.
Oh.
Yeah, smother
That
him.
was a well-timed bill of bet.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of Handsome Jacks, sponsored by Jake the Halo Nerd. Jake, you better pay me some goddamn money for finally having Halo on.
That was the worst ad read I've ever seen in my life. You're never going to get sponsored like that.
Perfect.
Are you winning?
Please follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and our Twitch channel. Handsome Jacks on all of them, and on Twitter it should be at the Handsome Jacks. On Twitch it's the Handsome Jacks. On YouTube it's the Handsome Jacks. Links in the video description below for those that are watching the video because they want the webcams of Jesus, the man with the pink hat, and myself. Jake doesn't do webcams. He's a little bitch. Bye.
Bye bye.